Welcome to World School TV with your host, Trina Baldwin. We all share a common passion of travel, and we all share the same desire to educate our kids through the world of travel. And you know what? We all share the same fears as well. So let's blast those fears away and confidently commence or continue our world schooling adventure. Each week we'll be chatting with guests about all things world schooling. We'll be covering travel destinations and events, education options for our kids. We'll talk about what it takes to get going and what it takes to keep going. On World School TV, we're here to support you in every possible way.
Welcome to World School TV. I'm your host, Trina Baldwin. Today I'm chatting with Christie Ogden. Christie has been unschooling for more than 16 years and world schooling for more than 8 years. For the past 5 years, she's called the North Shore of the Dominican Republic her home base. Christie has perfected the art of travelling on a thrifty budget, living on around 1,000 Canadian dollars a month or less, including everything for her world schooling adventures. Christie and her family truly immerse themselves in the community and culture, and her family live as locals wherever they go. Christie now provides a service in the Dominican Republic, sharing her expertise and knowledge of the island and its culture with others. I can't wait to see what she has to share with us today. Excellent. Okay, so welcome to World School TV, Christie, and thank you very much for coming and joining us tonight to share your knowledge about the Dominican Republic and the way you've been travelling. To get started, if you could just let us know a little bit about yourself and your family and how you got started on the world schooling journey.
Our story is a little bit different. So we didn't start out with money. We didn't start out with, a big savings or anything. I was a single mom with 4 kids at the time, and I discovered I was pregnant. I was devastated because my youngest was 10, and I could barely afford to feed the 4 kids that I had. What was I going to do? And all of that. So I moved to another province in Canada, and I found a house for $10,000. I was making payments on that, but it just didn't feel like home. And then after the baby was born, it still didn't feel like home. I thought maybe we could just settle and make this place home, but it wasn't home to us. So in the middle of the night, one night, I thought we could live in a bus because that would be cheap. So I put an ad on, we call it Kijiji, it's the same as Craigslist, that I was looking for a bus, and this was my budget and all my specifications. And 3 days later, a guy emailed me and said, I have your bus and I can take payments. And so I made payments. I got this bus. We converted it with free stuff that we found off of Craigslist. And in 3 months, we moved in and took off. And we lived in that with a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a baby.
Wow.
And then we were in the bus, and I'm like, okay, we're in Canada. I didn't want to take it into the States because I had heard it's hard to find camping spots with a bus, like a school bus.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to take it into the States, and I knew it was going to get cold pretty fast in Canada. Like it was already September. So we parked the bus. I bought tickets to the Dominican Republic, and I rented a little cabin. And then after I bought tickets, rented the cabin, I had $300 for the next 27 days.
Wow.
And we went and we did it. So, and we just haven't looked back since then.
Wow, what a story. So what, I mean, I know you had to move to warmer weather. You couldn't do a bus in Canada in the winter. What made you choose the Dominican Republic?
I had come to the Dominican Republic several years earlier with a friend of mine at an all-inclusive, and we had met this guy, and I still had his number. I had never called him, but I still had his number. So with like Google Translate and my horrible Spanish, I called him and said, hi, remember me? I'm that crazy white lady that came on a tour with you. And like, I don't know if he remembered me or not, but he's like, yeah. So I said, can you help me find a house to rent? And he said, for how long? And I'm like, well, indefinitely. So yes, come. So he found me a house, and it was kind of on a wing and a prayer because I didn't really know him that well. And so he found the house and he said, the rent is, $200 and the deposit. And I'm like, okay. So I sent this guy $400 through Western Union,
Yeah.
and on the plane over there, I looked at my kids and I said, we could be sleeping on the beach because I have no idea if this guy rented the house or not. So it was truly on a wing and a prayer that we did this. So
you were
but
just
it turned out
following
really
your
awesome.
you were following your intuition,
Well,
though?
right. I knew that I could live cheaper outside of Canada.
Yeah.
Like from all the research I'd done, I knew that I could live cheaper outside of Canada, and so I couldn't do it anymore in Canada. It was just so stifling, and like we were living day to day. There were days when it was like, I don't know when I'm going to feed my kids today because I don't have anything in the house.
Yeah.
I don't know, and the year before we left, I had to sit my kids down and say, we can't do Christmas because I can't afford it. I can't even afford to buy you food. How am I going to afford to even buy you a $5 gift?
Yeah.
We're getting power cut off, utilities off, everything was getting cut off because I couldn't make enough as a single mom to pay everything.
Yeah.
And going to social services, they would tell me, you make too much money, because of where the line is. I made, I don't know, probably $10 too much. So I couldn't get help from the government, but then I'm not making enough to make ends meet. So then I just said enough was enough, and I took this huge leap of faith.
Oh, good on you.
We came.
Good on you.
So
have you stayed in the Dominican Republic since then?
No, we've gone other places as well, but we kind of call Dominican Republic home, and we stay here the most, and then we travel from here. Like we'll go back to Canada for a bit, and then recently in August we went to Mexico for 4 months, and because everybody was saying how it's so cheap there, and so we went there and it's different, but it's not as cheap as I thought it was going to be. So then we came here, came back.
So comparatively then, Mexico is not as affordable as Dominican Republic?
It's affordable, but I was expecting it to be less developed than it is.
Okay.
And it's very developed. So like where we are now, there's no Walmart, there's no Starbucks, there's no nothing. So it makes it quite cheap because, you can get a coffee for 5 pesos.
Yeah.
But in every Mexican city, there's Starbucks, Walmart, McDonald's, like there's everything that the States has, And so 1 Canadian dollar is 14 Dominican pesos, and 1 Canadian dollar is 38 Dominican pesos. So it's almost double.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a dollar goes almost twice as far here as it does there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a big expat community in the Dominican Republic?
There is, but it's kind of all spread around because everybody has like their favorite area.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of seniors that come here. So they're expats, but they don't have kids,
Okay.
like they come and hang out. But yeah, but there are people who are here, and we try and connect with them, but everybody kind of does their thing, like has their happening and things like that. So
yeah. So you wouldn't say that there's a big world schooling community there yet?
No, but I'm trying to make that happen.
I can see that. You certainly piqued my interest.
There's 4 of us. There's going to be 4 of us here all together. So,
oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I'm trying to make it happen.
Yeah. So look, any place that you go to has its pros and its cons. What would you say? We'll go with the cons first and we'll bring the pros in last.
For the Dominican?
Yeah.
Well, it's not as developed as some countries. So, and things run like on their own time. Like if you think that it's going to take an hour, you better plan for 5.
Yeah.
Because they just have no concept of rush at all. Like,
Yeah.
except for driving. But you know, I called to get the internet hooked up and he said, okay, I'll be there in the afternoon. Okay. Well, 4 afternoons later, he showed up to hook up the internet, you know? So like nothing is a rush. Everything is, yeah, mañana, you know, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the other thing, it doesn't so much bother me. It bothers I'm used to it now, but it bothers my partner who just recently got here. And on TV, we are led to believe that roosters only crow at dawn. This is not true.
Okay.
If something goes past and wakes them up, they crow all night long. And there's like a big circle of all the roosters in the village that have a competition over who can crow the loudest for hours. So
Right, so you have to get used to roosters crowing.
yeah, especially if actually that's not even true. I was going to say especially in the country, but they have roosters in the city too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So what are the pros? What do you most love about the Dominican Republic?
I think the thing that I love the most is like the people, because, you know, for example, when we first came, we lived in a little village and I had $300 to my name for 27 days, you know, and people realized quickly that I didn't have a lot of money, you know, because I would go to the store with my little daily allotment, you know, and I would say, okay, how much is this? How much is this? How much is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people realized that I didn't have a lot of money, and everybody in the village knew where we lived because we were the only people from outside of there. And magically, big sacks of fruit and vegetables would show up like in our yard on our doorstep, you know, because they would go out to where their family is in the country and pick fruit and veg for us and drop it off so that we didn't have to buy. And and you know, and then the guy at the store, he doesn't speak any English and I didn't hardly speak any Spanish, but he said, no, you don't pay. When your money comes, you can pay. So he gave me credits, you know, and so they're really, really kind, and, you know, they'll give you they're just very generous and very kind, and, you know, and always looking out for other people, which is really nice. So.
Oh, lovely. And what sort of things do you like to do there?
We go on hikes, we go to the beach, we do all kinds of things, but but yeah, just general tropical things, I guess. Like, my favorite thing is riding on the motos, like the motorcycles.
Okay.
So where we live now is a very small village, and the only way to get from our village to the next town where the bus is to get to the city is a motorcycle ride. And they think that's the best thing ever. So if I say we're going out today, it's like, woo, we get to ride on a motorcycle. So,
and is it busy on the roads, on the motorcycle?
Yeah, there's probably more motorcycles than cars.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit crazy sometimes.
Yeah. I'm in Bali at the moment, and so the motorcycles, like the scooters here, it's crazy, and it's taken me quite a while to get actually used to riding on the roads here, because they're really is no road rules as we know it. Is
Right.
that the same
It's
sort
the
of thing?
same here. It's the
Right.
same here. So there's 2 lanes on the road,
Yep.
going one direction, but they're driving it like it's 4 lanes.
Yep.
And then you come to like a left turn lane and there'll be 3 cars turning left at the same time.
Yes. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. But
all
there's,
into one lane.
but
And they're all
it's sort of,
honking like get over. And it's, if you would go in one lane, you wouldn't have this problem.
but would you call it organized chaos? Because that's what I call it here in Bali. I call it
It's
organized
really
chaos.
funny because of my new company, I've been driving a lot, like for going to pick up clients and stuff. And it's really, I've noticed a huge difference because, if a car pulls over into the other lane to pass somebody, like on a 2-way highway, everybody just kind of moves over to the other side to make room,
Yeah.
and that doesn't happen in Canada.
No.
Like everybody stays in their lane and does what they're supposed to. But these guys, it's just kind of intuitive, and they just do what needs to be done, and I kind of like that.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Like if I had to swerve into another lane in Canada for whatever reason, I'm sure I would get hit because nobody would know what to do.
Yeah.
There's a car in my lane, But these guys
Absolutely.
just, whatever, off they go to the other side,
Yeah. Yeah.
just so calm.
Well, what's winter like? Do they have a winter?
No,
No.
you use Celsius, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 32 right now.
Where are we now? What? Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to think what
Like
season you were in.
February, March.
Oh yeah. So you're just at the
And
end of winter.
for us in Canada, it's winter.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And it's
32
32.
degrees. Yeah.
Oh, that's my kind of weather.
Yeah. And then in the summer, though, it gets to be like 40.
Yeah. And is
but
it
it
humid
stays
or?
around. Yeah, it stays around 28 to 40 like all year round. Like it doesn't really fluctuate much. Yeah. Which is nice for me, because in Canada we can have like -40 one day and +9 the next.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, so what sort of you've got all your kids at home with you now?
No, I have 6 kids, and just the youngest 3 are with me because the 3 older ones are in Canada working, doing their thing.
Doing their thing now. So what sort of what approach to education have you taken with your kids?
We started homeschooling in 2002, I believe. It's been a long time. And at first I did, the lessons and all of that, and it just wasn't working. So then we kind of slid towards unschooling, and we've been doing that ever since. Mm-hmm. And it's been going good for us. Yeah.
Excellent. And have your kids been able to make friends with other local kids and that around?
Yeah. So when we were here, my 2 older kids were 13 and 11 when we came, and they had friends within a week. But I think it's more because we slow travel, so we stay in one place for a couple of months and then we move on, so they have time to meet kids. If we were here for 2 days and then moving to another place for 2 days and then or even a week, I don't think that would be the same. But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty standard thing for wherever you are as well. I mean, the more time you get to spend with people, obviously the bigger the relationship you're going to make. So yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So my 17-year-old fluent in Spanish now because he's pretty much just hung out with local kids. Yeah. More so than, because for me, being on a lower budget, a lot of what we do isn't what expat families do. Like that has more money. So they'll go, you know, oh, we're going to go to Santo Domingo for 4 days, and we're going to go to the aquarium, and we're going to go to here, and we're going to go to there, and we're going to go to here. And I'm like, whoa, that's like a 6-month budget for us. Like, you know, we might go to Santiago and do one thing, but we can't go and do them all in one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we're going to go and we're going to rent a car, and we're going to do this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, that's not my budget. You know? So we tend to hang out with the locals because they have a similar budget to us for outings, and it's really kind of cool because hanging out with the locals, we found things that aren't on the internet and aren't on the in the guidebooks, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's go to this waterfall, and we get there, and there's like nobody there, and nobody knows about it. And then you look online and you can't find it anywhere because it's a local thing, you know?
Yeah, nice one. So now you're actually showing people around yourself. You have your own concierge service that you're providing for people. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you can help people coming in?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's so exciting. So it kind of started as I just helped one other world schooler, and then a whole bunch were asking, and I'm like, ooh, I could make this a business.
Yeah.
So basically, clients will email me or message me and say, can you help me? And I just kind of get what they want, you know, because everybody has their own different dream. And then from that, I go and look in different places, and I'll find like 3 or 4 houses, take pictures, send them to you, and then you say, oh, I really like this one. And then I'll negotiate a rental price, and then you send like the deposit or however you want to work it, and then I pay it. So, and then when you get here, I pick you up from the airport and bring you to your new house. It's all ready. I have the key, and then I give 3 days of service afterwards. So if you need to go get a chip for your phone, or you need to be shown where to go get groceries, I do that, or whatever you need.
Yeah. Excellent.
I've also recently, as my island concierge kind of deal, a lady emailed me and asked me if I could organize a homestay. So I've done that, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
So,
well, you've certainly got the local
pretty much
there. So,
yeah. So pretty much whatever you can dream, I can make happen.
I like that.
So,
I like that.
Yeah.
So where can people actually find you, Christie, to get hold of you?
Usually Facebook and Instagram. So my Instagram is What If It's Amazing, and my Facebook page is What If It's Amazing. I'm revamping my website, and it's not up yet, but I will put it up.
Fantastic. Well, what I'll do is I'll put the links to your Instagram and to your Facebook with this video, so that people can get hold of you. But look, I really want to thank you for coming on tonight and sharing all your information about the Dominican Republic. If we could just wrap it up and ask you, give us your best sales pitch on why we should go to the Dominican Republic.
It is super cheap here. The people are amazing, and we have some of the best beaches.
Do you know what gets me about that part of the world is just the water, the crystal clear water.
So beautiful.
Oh my God, you had a photo up the other day, and I went, that is amazing.
But there's a beach on the North Shore here, and you can go way out into the bay with your snorkeling mask, you know.
Yeah.
And you can. It's like deep, really, really deep, and you can see right to the bottom, like it's tap water, you know.
Wow.
It's just amazing how, you know.
Yeah.
Because I was snorkeling, and I was out, and then I thought I was still shallow, and I went to step down, and I went, "Bloop," and I was like, whoa, whoa, I'm really deep. But I thought because it was so clear that it was like really shallow, you know?
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't, it was really, really deep.
Wow. Love it. Well, it's certainly on my list of things to do.
Awesome.
So thank you again. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.